Did a lap with the 29er, went home and struggled with a tire, mounting it on the back of my race bike. Struggled with it for an hour and a half. So I'll tell you about it when I do the race bike review, the bad habit. So right now I'm on the Salsa Woodsmoke. I'm going to do a lap clockwise. Same thing I did earlier when I videoed on my Cannondale Flash 29er carbon, the lightest bike I have. This is probably the heaviest of these three mountain bikes. It's a hardtail, but it's not got carbon wheels like my race bike does. My bad habit is mostly carbon other than the rear triangle. This one is an all carbon frame, but the dropouts are aluminum and the wheels are aluminum. They're fairly wide sun-wrinkled Duroc wheels. They hook up great, they should be good and durable, but they're a little heavier than those Cannondale carbon hoops. So I'm going to do the same thing I did earlier. Just do a lap, not quite race speed, but almost, just as fast as I feel comfortable. One thing I've got over earlier is that it's pretty much full sunlight outside the trees now. It's about 10:30 in the morning, and so it is easier to see the trail. But regardless of that, this Salsa is 27.5 by 2.8 tires. It's got a WTB Trail Boss in the front, a Schwalbe Rocket Ron in the back, both 27.5 by 2.8, and it is just really comfortable to carve on. Swoops and dips just feel much easier to do than on the 29er with what feels like 29er 29 by 2.4 in back, but it is mounted on the original 2012. Well, let's see, I replaced that rim in 2013 or 14, but still it's mounted on a more narrow rim. It's like a 20 millimeter wide rim, where really today, if you're going optimal for 29 by 2.4, you probably want at least 25 millimeter rim. Be on the switchbacks. And even though it doesn't climb uphill quite as well in a straight line as the 29er wheels and tires, it more than makes up for it. Because even if there's a little curve on a climb, this thing just hangs into the corners so much better than you, so that you can keep your momentum better. At least I can. I've never been great at cornering. I mean, compared to the experts and pros that I raced with for a little while, there's no way I could hang in the corners. Those guys just swoop and hook so well. Especially downhill. Part of my problem is courage. I'm just not comfortable above 30 miles an hour carbon downhill corners. 30 miles an hour doesn't sound like much, but when you're covered with nothing on your legs and arms in a cross-country mountain bike race, and you've only got spandex on, shorts and top, 30 miles an hour is awful fast. of the widest handlebars that I own on of the 3 bikes. My fat bike, my snow bike, maybe even a little bit wider than these. These came wide and I left them that way. For the fat bike, I actually bought a set of wide bars because I liked the leverage so well. It just seems to suit the wider tires better. Feel cramped in and twitchy and silly on big old fat tires on tiny short handlebars. I always have to put a foot down up here. Raise the seat post a little, shift down, and messed that one up. Just got a little off balance there. It's hard to restart here, but it can be done. So that cost me quite a bit of time right there. But we do our best to make up for some of it. Has mid-level SLX parts on it. Other than a little bit of added weight, the only thing I really notice is the shifter. It's a 1x11, just like my bad habit, but it's an SLX rather than an XT. You can shift down multiple gears, but you can only shift up 1 gear at a time. And the paddle is longer. It gets in the way when you're shifting down multiple gears at a time. I swear it almost seems like Shimano and some of the manufacturers do that sort of thing on purpose, just so you buy the more expensive stuff. But maybe they use cheaper mechanisms in the SLX that require the longer paddle. I don't know. Be a few rolly things on the trail, a few walnuts. Poison ivy. I'm gonna have to shower off good. That section's where I keep picking it up. One good thing is it's not terribly hot yet. It's only about 70 degrees. So I am sweating a little just from working it, but not like I'm drenched. This bike handles much better through the mud than that 29er did too. You can actually run 29er or 29 plus tires on this frame. Don't really have to even change much. You might want to adjust the front fork compression a little bit. It's got longer travel for the 27.5 plus tires. You might not want quite that. I think it's like 160 or 180 millimeters of travel. You probably only want 120 or 140 for the 29ers. And this one's already set up 1x11, so you don't have to worry about the front derailleur, which is the only problem when you're running 29 plus on this frame. You can't run a front derailleur, they say. There's no need to with this drivetrain, which is pretty much, again, the SLX version of the XT and XTR drivetrain that I have on the Bad Habit. You don't want to overcook that turn, because there's chat right there. I have slid out, just about lost my bike over the edge of that one here. Cut my knee all up in that chat. Didn't used to be there. It kind of washed down from some of the spring rains a couple of years ago. Gotta watch your crank arms around along here. Drop your seat post. This bike also has shorter rear chain stays, like super short, as short as you can make them, because it's got an elevated drive side chain stay, which is one of the unique features of this frame. But even with the dropouts adjusted all the way back, it's only like 417 millimeter long chain stays, which I do like. The longer rake in the front, short chain stays. But I think one of the reasons they discontinued this model, which I just found out, was they're almost too short. You really don't need the chain stays to be probably under 420 millimeters long. And the elevated drive side chain stay allows you to run single speed or even belt drive technically, but it's too flexy to really do either very well. In fact, when I contacted Salsa about belt drive, they recommended against it. Said there's too much frame flex, too much rear flex, which I think is the same thing a lot of people have found out running single speed on this frame. I'm fairly strong, but not super strong, but I can, when this is set up single speed, I could flex it enough to cause it to pop a little It wouldn't necessarily skip a tooth, but it would give a loud pop like it was going to. But it is a great bike. It's got tons of room for bike packing. If you're going to do a bike packing trip, there's no doubt this would be hard to find a bike much more ideal than this frame. Set it up with either 27.5 plus like it is, which I like, or 29er plus to get even more grip and more rollover. Okay, so here's the end. Sprint up this. Okay, so with that stop, that was about 16.5 minutes. So it's already faster than the 29er. So now it's time to switch to the Bad Habit and see what she'll do. So there's the Woodsmoke.